This is the week 19 Fix-It for Fix-It 3, the frog prints. You will find this information on page 40 of your student book. Follow along with me. What we're going to talk about today is semicolons. Semicolons are a sophisticated grammatical tool or punctuation tool that can be used. And we'll talk about the main reason that you have one. But they're something that can be easily misused, because the basic rule of semicolons is that they are used to fix a run-on. If you have two main clauses, you can't just join them together with nothing. You have to do it in certain ways. A semicolon is one of the legal ways to have main clause plus main clause, meaning you could put a period in between them and it would still be legal. So you're joining two main clauses together with a semicolon, first of all. That's the thing. But, and a lot of people get this and they try to be very sophisticated by using semicolons all the time, except if you are not careful, you can end up not being very sophisticated, because there's a rule with semicolons, and that is they must be so closely linked in meaning that they belong together in one sentence, in one thought. So a sentence is an expression of one idea. So if these two main clauses are really two separate ideas, one's not adding to the meaning, they belong in two separate sentences and linked with a period, or separated with a period, not a semicolon. They give you some examples of when you can use them on page 40. If you look, it says semicolons are especially useful to join main clauses that are parallel in structure. Parallel in structure just means that they have the same part of speech in each part. Or in this case, you have two main clauses, but maybe it's going to be subject, verb, prepositional phrase. So the second sentence would be subject, verb, prepositional phrase. That would be a case when they're closely linked in meaning and they have the same structure, then that would be a good time to use a prepositional phrase. So we'll look at that example. If Dorinda would stop and think, fewer things would break. Okay, so you have that if clause, semicolon. If fewer things were broken, everyone would rejoice. So you see that similar structure there again. It's parallel in how it's written in structure, each one of those. And one idea is building on another. So you have this progression of if this, then that, if this, then that. So that's why they're so closely linked. We have another one. At breakfast, Dorinda terrorized the cook. At tea, she pestered her maid. Again, they both start with a prepositional phrase and then say, you know, the time period it happened and then what happened during that time period. And then we have the king fumed. Dorinda just laughed. So again, two things that happened in rapid succession and they're talking about the same situation. It's the same idea. So we have the king fumed, that's a main clause. Dorinda just laughed, subject, verb, subject, verb. Remember, this is an advanced skill. So you might look for situations. I'll try to highlight when one is done very well. And then when they're maybe not closely enough, when it would not be appropriate to have a semicolon. So just be careful with these, because as I said before, a lot of times students will get real excited about semicolons and want to use them every time they're joining two main clauses. But if you are trying to impress a teacher by using a semicolon, it's not impressive if you don't use it correctly. So remember those two things, very closely linked in meaning and parallel structure. To your clauses. Okay, those are the two. That's it for this Learn It. So go ahead and do your editing and then check back for the corrections video so that you can make sure that you've got everything that I point out on that corrections video.